All right, good morning, everyone. Today, we're going to start off with showing you a report. This is in the New York Times today. I want to share with you some of the data. And by the way, we're using our new platform, and hopefully, this GoToTraining is a little bit more interactive so we can get some questions from you. But here's what I want to share with you in this article, which is about, the title of my book, Why the Rich Stay Rich and the Poor Stay Poor. The reason I titled it that is really two key reasons. Number one is belief system. 90% of the people never change their life circumstance because of what they believe. They believe that they simply cannot. So poor stay poor, middle class stay middle class, and rich stay rich. The second key reason is what they know or don't know. Now, I want to share with you this article in today's New York Times. Okay, so where's the money flowing? Things are finally looking up in much of America as the worst of the pandemic seems to have crested. And if you're among the top 1% of income earners, your economic situation has quite possibly never been better. That's because while the bottom 50% gained $700 billion in wealth since the pandemic began, paying down debt and adding to their savings, the top 1% gained a staggering $10 trillion. So let's show that chart there. It says change in wealth since 2008. Now you can see 2008, we all know about the financial meltdown and everybody took a hit. The green is the top 1% and how they lost the most money because they had the most money to lose. And then, the next level is you have that bottom 50% and you have the middle class there. Now, if you look at that bottom 50%, statistically, the bottom 50% have little to no money, but you can see the tremendous wealth growth difference. And the key reason in all of this and why we have this Real Estate Wealth Academy and why you've heard me say over and over and over is this problem that this writer is talking about is a real problem. It's a national problem, but it's a very solvable problem. Now, you didn't say that in any of this because, people sell newspaper. Well, nobody sells newspapers, but basically they sell, to get eyeballs on their publication, which, this New York Times, by inflaming the community. And you can see, what does he say? The middle class has spent their time paying down their debt and saving money. And that is the formula to poverty. You want to stay broke, that's the way you do it. And this is the tragedy, is that, over my life journey, I started from zero, I started from broke, and I started from complete financial ignorance. And, over my life journey, I learned some really powerful things that we're trying to bring to the agents and bring to the community, and we can solve this monumental problem. The opportunity for you in your life and your career is epic, but you got to change what you believe about wealth and about real estate in particular. But you look at this guy is saying there's no solution to this. I mean, where he's going with this is the government's going to solve this problem by simply taking this money and redistributing it. That's where he's going with this, but that's not even a solution. Socialism is not a solution. That's not worked anywhere. Here's what the solution is real estate is the real world solution to this. And it's because of some of the things we're going to go through today. But I wanted to show you this, as you can see, is the 1%, and anybody that has assets have had this kind of magnificent growth. If you owned a home, you've had this kind of real estate wealth growth, particularly over the last year. But if you bought a property, look at 2010. If you bought real estate in 2010, how much have you made as a return on investment over the last 10 years? We'll do that analysis a little bit later, and we'll show you. But it's massive. So this to me is this speaks incredibly well for the opportunity for you in real estate. All right, here's what we're going to focus on today. The biggest false belief that salespeople have in every industry, real estate, loan officers, whatever they're selling, is that they have to chase sales. We've heard this whole conversation of, sales is a numbers game. We've all heard that forever because they don't know how to really sell. They've got this mindset of sales is a numbers game, meaning that there's only so many people in the market. So let's pull up that PowerPoint slide. Let me show you what the stats are on this. Okay, now in this chart, you can see 3 to 4% of consumers are in the market at any given time. 100% of the real estate agents are chasing that 3 or 4%. That's a small market with a ton of competition. And here's the mindset that every salesperson has is they've been trained that, okay, there's only 3 or 4% of the people that are in the market that are looking to buy or sell real estate. So you got to go knock on doors. You have to prospect. You got to advertise to this 3 or 4%. And if you're advertising, for the most part, if they're advertising pictures of properties, or if they're prospecting, whether it's on the phone or knocking doors or open houses, it's all about, are you interested in buying or selling real estate, or what are you looking for? And these are all order taker questions. But it's the false belief or the inaccurate belief that you got to chase all these people. Chasing people, especially when you have no additional value, there's no real differentiation, is a tremendous challenge. It's a really difficult way to make money. Here's how we change the game, is when you learn how to create clients. Now, I'm going to go through this process of how you can create clients at an incredible level. We do this every week. We're talking to clients and we're bringing these people into the market. They really don't have much interest in real estate, but they have interest in financial security and wealth and tax-free income and these kinds of things. So here's the next level. You can see 7 to 10% of consumers own a rental property. LA County, it's 7%. Orange County is 10%. Nationwide, it's about 8%. That's a very small market. Now, my point in sharing that with you is to show you how many people, or how small the percentage is of people that believe in real estate as an investment. 65% believe in the 401k or the IRA. And you just saw that New York Times. How well is the 401k or IRA working for that bottom 50%? It's not. It's a miserable failure. Here's where the epic opportunity is that third category, the 40% of homeowners. That's to me the sweet spot. That's the market you really want to hit. You want to focus on. And then of the renters, about 50% of the people are renters. 10 to 20% of those can buy, but choose not to buy. So we're going to go through this process of how to create clients. It's really not very difficult if you follow the steps we're going to go through. But if you simply go into the process with this mindset of, oh, are you interested in a house? Are you interested in selling a house? Or are you interested in buying a house? The answer is just going to be no, 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 no. I'll let you know when I'm interested. So that process is a long, slow, tough grind. This is the way you make it fast, you make it way easier, and you can get into far more appointments, and you can build a massive pipeline of people that want to take action. Everybody's got problems, right? What problems do consumers have? And here's kind of a little story I like to share with you, is that imagine you're sitting at home sick and you can't stop coughing. And someone rings the doorbell and you're like, I'm not getting this. And they keep ringing and you finally get up and you go to the door and you open the door and you're coughing and wheezing and you're like, what? Can't you see I'm sick? And the guy goes, yes, I see you're sick and I'm here to help you. I sell cough drops. Are you interested in cough drops? What do you think the chances are you're going to buy the cough drops? Like pretty much 100%. Why? Because you have the problem of these coughs that you can't stop. That's why. This is how we create the clients, is what problems. So you have to identify what problems do prospects have or consumers have that you can market to, that's going to get you in a place where you can reel them in so that you can sell them real estate. But this leads back to the inaccurate or false belief that agents have, that and salespeople. I'm not just trying to peg on real estate salespeople, because every salesperson has this problem. If you read Chet Holmes' book, The Ultimate Sales Machine, he talks about how in every single industry he went to, he got massive pushback from the salespeople because of their false belief that they have to talk about the product first. See, Every salesperson, if someone sells cars, what do they believe they have to talk about? Cars. Loan officers drives me crazy. My loan officers believe that they have to quote interest rates. They got to talk about loan programs and quote interest rates. That's getting them to open their mind beyond that, because they believe sales is a numbers game and this is the way it works. And agents are exactly the same way. They believe they have to talk about houses. The problem is, if you're talking about houses, then let's say your bait is houses. Okay, that's your bait. Who is that going to resonate with? Only people that are actively looking have already made the decision that they're going to buy. Here's the problem with that. If the people that are already actively looking, what are the odds they already have an agent? Pretty high. What are the odds they've been to Zillow and Redfin? Pretty high. So where does that put you as far as value? What is your value at this point? Minimal. And this is why commissions are coming down. So if your bait is houses, that's a lousy bait, because it puts you in a minimal value position, because you're not bringing anything different, better, or anything else. And you're not focusing on their problem. So it's really the best bait is identifying problems that when people have. When you're talking about a problem they have, they're interested if you can bring the solution. So we say, it's problems, and then it's the solution. Now, the solution, as I said, is real estate. The problem that consumers have is we are fear-driven. People are, number one concern is fear. Fear is what motivates people to take action. Now, I want you to think about, if you're as an agent, how many times do you talk to consumers and they back out of transactions, or that you're talking to them and they seem interested, and you get them to a certain level and they bail out? And you know what the reason is? Because they're afraid. They have this fear. And as a salesperson, you're trying to deal with, if someone's coming from a place of fear. Now, fear is emotion driven, it's not logic driven. There's no way that you're going to squash someone's emotional fears using emotion. You have to use facts, and you have to use tangible facts that they can see. What do consumers know about real estate? They know almost nothing about real estate other than they see a house, they see bedrooms and baths, and today they see a huge sales prices they never imagined of paying. I mean, $600,000 is a cheap house now. So they look at these houses of $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 and more. And so they see that price, they see these payments, and the fear sets in, because they never in their wildest imagination ever imagined paying that much for a property. And so there's the fear. So this is how I'm going to walk you through this process of how we have to focus on the problem. They have a bigger problem than the price of the property. They have a much bigger problem. And that's why I showed you that article in the New York Times. The problem is a wealth problem. It's a financial security problem. It's a retirement problem. It's a money problem. Most people are worried about money 24/7. We're going to show them how to end that worry. All right, so here we can see in the script. This is how you introduce yourself. You say, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Blank. This is Mark with the Mark One Real Estate Wealth Academy. I'm a realtor or a real estate. Now, I encourage you to use the words real estate wealth advisor. It's your call. Most of the agents that are part of our program are using the term real estate wealth advisor because it differentiates you and it elevates you. How important is it to be differentiated and to elevate you over your competition? I mean, that is huge. Just that is huge. But now you got to be able to back it up, and we're going to show you how we help you to back it up. I help renters and homeowners build wealth and retire without the struggle of saving money through real estate. So what's the problem? What's the problem in there that they have? Build wealth and retire. Those are problems without the struggle of saving money. the path, the problem is they want to be able to build wealth and retire, but they can't because the real problem is a struggle of saving money through real estate. That is compelling. So you're talking about problem, right? What's the problem? Is build wealth and retire without the struggle of saving money. So what's the solution? The solution is through real estate. Now all of a sudden you're interesting. You're not just the other agent that's out there talking about, oh, I sell houses. Are you looking for a house? And if you're looking for a house, let me fill out your contract for you, and so I can make $25,000. If you're in this category of I sell houses, that's all I do, then you're a commodity salesperson and you're getting minimized, and then we're dealing with the whole Zillow thing. But again, it comes down to the sales process is problem solution. So that's where, when you limit your ability to solve problems to I just sell houses, that's all I do, that is very small with a ton of competition. So we get into this. If you don't mind me asking, are you a renter or a homeowner? Now, obviously, if you already know, and the people I'm talking about are the people in your cell phone, go through your cell phone, and if you have not organized in your database, but have the people organized into renters and homeowners that you know, because then we can skip past this. Let's say the prospect says, I'm a homeowner. This is the sweet spot. This is where you can bring the greatest value and create the greatest number of transactions is with homeowners. And you'll see how that is in a moment when we get into the analysis. Our path to wealth is through our home. And another way you can say is, did you know that your path to wealth is through your home? Here is why. What's awesome about the home is the home will grow wealth at a massive level, 3 to 4 times the speed of the stock market without saving money. So we're going to show you how to get into that. You see, did you know on average, and we're going to show you a flyer, we have a marketing piece, and if you have not done this, I've done this repeatedly, people look at you like you're crazy. When you say, did you know that your home's going to grow wealth at 3 to 4 times the speed of the stock market? Or another way to say it is your home is going to grow wealth at 3 to 4 times the speed of your 401k or IRA. They look at you and they go, how can that be possible? Because no one ever talks about that, but it's absolutely possible. See, the reason is the 5 economic benefits that real estate enjoys that stocks do not. Use the digital flyer. Now, I would encourage you to print it out, not for mass distribution, but to print it out. And if you're with someone, then you can just leave them the flyer so they can review it later. Now, if you're doing these conversations online, whether it's like, on the phone or FaceTime or on Zoom or whatever, you can show them the digital flyer and then email it to them. But use the flyer like a PowerPoint slide. So you can walk through the 5 economic benefits that there are in real estate. State grows wealth 5 different ways where other assets don't. And we have our poker chip presentation, which the key is learning how to convert this incredible wealth growth into tax-free income. The solution you can provide is, look, what we can do is we can put you on a path to build the wealth and retirement income you need without saving money. We can eliminate the problem of saving money. So we're going to make that problem go away. And we're going to make your life better today by creating tax-free income today. Would you like to have an extra $250 to $1,000 a month of tax-free income today? Is that going to help you? Well, of course it's going to help them, right? But do you see, instead of just limiting yourself in the box, oh, I sell houses, I talk about bedrooms and baths and sale prices, that's all I do. That is not a problem. If all you talk about is bedrooms, baths, and houses and addresses and sales price, what problem does that solve for people? The answer is no problem, because they go to Zillow and get all that information. They go to Redfin. Now, used to be, before they could get that information online, that used to be a problem, because they could not find or identify the properties without you. But they can today. So this is why you have to think the sales process is problem, solution, problem, solution. All your marketing, email, flyers, all your conversations, problem, solution. All right, so this is a flyer, and we'll get you a personalized flyer. Real estate versus stocks. You can see it's got the 5 economic benefits on there. So here's the simple conversation. Again, I'm a real estate wealth advisor. Do you know that real estate is going to grow wealth at least easily 3 to 4 times the pace of your 401k or IRA? And what's awesome is you do it without saving money. You can literally build massive amounts of wealth and tax-free income without the struggle of saving money. Let me give you an example. This is analysis from April of 2016 through April of 2021. You don't have to get that specific, but I want you to know exactly what the timeline is on this. We can say, look, here's over the past 5 years. The past 5 years, if you talk to any financial planner, anybody that's big on stocks, and you ask them this question, where would you have made more money in the past 5 years, real estate or stocks? What do you think they're going to say? 100% are going to say stocks. The stock market the past 5 years has had one of the best runs in the history of the stock market. That's what they're going to say. That's what they're going to believe. And you can blow that out of the water with this flyer. So here you can see real estate, $60,000 or 10% down on a $600,000 purchase. This is Southern California average appreciation rate, 9.7. So this is basically LA and Orange County. It's a little higher if you add the Inland Empire. 9.7% appreciation rate versus 60,000 in their 401k or IRA. The Dow Jones in the same 5-year period has averaged 14%. So if you look at just the one economic benefit of appreciation, the stock market has won on the one economic benefit. But there's not just one economic benefit to real estate, there's 5. So now we go down to the bottom. Investment value 5 years at 9.7% appreciation. That's $600,000 property is now $953,201 value. In stocks, that $60,000 investment has basically doubled to $131,000. You can see that the net return 48% versus 13%. But here's the key: in dollars and cents, 60,000 has translated into $404,000 in wealth versus 60,000 and a $57,000 gain. Now, 60 into 400, almost 7 times, right? 6.75, something like that. Magnification. So remember we said 3 to 4 times? In the last 5 years, it's almost 7 times. Almost 7 times the wealth growth without the struggle of saving money. Now, is this compelling? Do you see the solutions, the financial solutions that this is providing to people? It gets them interested because no one else is talking about this. But this is now, just this alone has legitimized you as a real estate wealth expert. If we want to get them into an appointment, you want to get them into a consultation, you already have someone that's actively engaged where they're like saying, hey, I'm interested in buying. You need to do this forecaster report for them so they don't back out on you. It's going to further differentiate you, but it's also, you need to give them a reason, a compelling reason why they should not be afraid and back out. And that's how we do this when we get into this forecaster report. Look at the compounded annual growth rate, 47%. 47% average annual return on investment for 5 consecutive years. Try to find a stock that's done that. You can see the wealth growth numbers on there, where it says, the value of the property goes up to $953, the loan balance goes down, the equity position, the total return is over $400,000. All right, as far as net gain on that, okay? So massive wealth growth, all on autopilot. The key to creating clients is problem solution, problem solution. So you always need to think strategically in your conversation, not just in your marketing, but in your conversation. What are the problems they have, and how can I bring the solution? So first problem, and here are the real key problems. Number 1 is they can't save money. And number 2 is they can't create retirement income. So we're going to show you as we walk through this how we solve both of those problems. All right, so you can see the wealth growth. The property value goes up to $953. You see the loan balance going down. You see the the massive equity growth. So now we're explaining, saying, look, do you see how we've solved the problem of saving money? That you've grown your wealth from $60,000. Now, for most first-time buyers, if they're buying a property with 10% down and they put $60,000 down in their closing costs, or let's say $10,000 to $15,000, what percentage of their wealth just left them? It's all gone, right? They're broke. I mean, a lot of them are hitting their 401k and borrowing so that they can buy their first property. So my point is, they're broke. Do you think that scares them? They're thinking, oh my God, if I pull all this money and I buy this property, I'm broke. And then I got this bigger house payment. How am I going to save that money and replace it? That's what they're thinking. Are you talking about that? Is that a problem in their mind? Yeah, you're just, you're taking all their money. As an agent, you're taking all their money from them and you're making them broke and you're going to get paid a whole bunch of money. And they're looking at that. They're going, wait a sec. I'm going to be broke. How do I save this money up again? Here's my point. That's a huge problem that you're not talking about. What's the solution? They don't need to save it again, ever. Not only do they not need to ever replace that money, they're going to grow wealth at a dramatically faster level. See, ask this question. How long did it take you to save this money? The $60,000 to $70,000 that we're using to buy this property, how long do you think it took them to, how many of them do you think saved that money in a year? If they're great savers, phenomenal savers, 5 or 6 years. Most is 8, 10 years, 12 years. So remember, problem solution. These are the problems. This is the whole strategy. Get out of this sales as a numbers game. Do you want to you talk about houses? No, you want to talk about problems. You talk about all the problems and bring the solution. This is the problem. And they're not going to verbalize this, but I guarantee you they're thinking it. I spent 10 years saving this $60,000 to $70,000. It's going to get wiped out, and now I'm going to have to try to save this money, and it's going to take me another 10 or 12 years. No, it's not. Look at how long did it take them? They put $60,000. How long did it take them to accumulate another $60,000? 1 year.
1 year.
Do you think they know that? So if you're talking to a first-time buyer, say, look, if you would have bought this property 5 years ago, you would have made that 60 grand in 1 year, not 10 or 12 years saving it. Look at the equity growth, $473,000. If you divide that out, they're saving about $4,000 a month, basically. Yeah, in their house, okay? But here's the next problem. Remember, problems are a good thing if you have solutions. Problems is how you bring people in the market. Problems is how you sell houses and close them every time you provide the solution. So here's the next problem. You see, we've solved the problem. Saving money is a thing of the past because you own real estate. But here's the next problem. We need income. We need that, and here's what's great. We're going to show you how to create the tax-free income. Now, if you're 40 years old, in 20, 25 years, if your expenses are $5,000 or $6,000, they're going to be double. So we're going to need about $10,000 a month of income. The other huge problem is how much retirement income are you going to be able to create? You need to have at least, bare bones minimum, $10,000 a month in retirement income. That's bare minimum. More likely, the average middle class American in Southern California is going to need $12,000, $13,000 a month because you got to pay income tax on that money. So if 13,000 equals about 10, if you're lucky, it depends on what happens with the tax rates. It might be even more than that because the tax rates are really going up. But in any case, now we can show them, see how the income, if you look at this, okay, 600,000, same scenario, but see the appreciation rate now is only 5%. All right, so let's say they buy a property today, so we're not using the 7.3, we're using 5. 5% is the national average, so this is a very realistic number over an extended period. So we're saying in 5 years, where the property wealth growth would be, you can see the equity position. So the 60,000 down payment plus closing costs is up to 285. So the net profit on the property is 215,000 is what their profit is over that 5-year period. That's about $40,000 a year, 32% compounded return. Those are powerful numbers. So in 20 years, we're looking at a property that's almost tripled in value. But you can see the rental income is $72.35. What we want to do is, let's say at the 3rd, 4th, 5th year, when the property will cash flow, is turn it into a rental, and then we explain, look, we turn this into a rental, and your tenant will take over the loan. And let's say the 505 mark. See where it says after year 3, $505,000. The tenant's going to take over. Basically, they're going to start making that payment for you. So you're going to create this $500,000 of free money. Now, when you start talking to people about free money, their eyeballs get big. Could you use $500,000 of free money? That gets really interesting, right? Because they're struggling to save money. Remember, it's problem solution. What's the problem? I'm not saving very much money. Well, let's get some free money. Doesn't that solve the problem? $500,000 of free money, does that help you solve the saving money problem? That's the key, is shifting people's mind. When you say shifting their mindset, what you're really doing is changing their belief system. Is they believe one thing, and they believe one thing because they're ignorant. Okay, I mean, it does sound mean, but I'm believing being direct. Okay, ignorant is not a mean word. Ignorant just means you don't know, right? And we're all ignorant of certain things. But financial literacy is a huge blind spot in this country. It's a horrible problem. Living in ignorance is a terrible thing. Most of my loan officers are ignorant of this fact, of the things I'm teaching you here. Most of the real estate industry is ignorant of these facts, and virtually every consumer is ignorant of these facts. And this is why that article, the New York Times is showing, do you think the 1%ers are ignorant of this? There was a great article in the Wall Street Journal, I think it was Friday, and here's what it talked about. It talked about how the wealthy, and again, we're talking the 1%ers, are borrowing more money against their stock portfolio than they've ever borrowed. They call that margin. They're borrowing on. Why? Because they see what's happening with inflation. And they see and they look and they say, wait a sec, I can borrow at 2% on my stock portfolio, and my stock portfolio is going up 14%. How many middle-class people think like that? None. And they shouldn't, because they don't have the deep pockets, because I don't believe in borrowing against your stock portfolio, because unless you're an expert in that arena, but the average consumer isn't. But on real estate, it's a whole different game, because real estate not only is it going to grow faster because of all these 5 economic benefits. Number one is we have this huge problem of saving money. But number 2 is we need extra income. So here's how we're going to create tax-free income. Now, what's the problem? Problem is they need more income. They don't have any tax-free income. Their 401k, they can't touch it till they're 59 and a half. Number 1, so it's not going to help them until then. And number 2, when they pull it out, they're going to get slammed with full ordinary income tax from the state of California and the federal government. There is no tax-free income. Let me show you how much tax-free income your house can provide you today. If you own a property, a certain percentage of it is land value and a certain percentage is structural value. Now, for the IRS, you can use 75% of this number for structure value. We can depreciate the structure value. We cannot depreciate the land value. So we're going to say 75% of 600,000 is structure value. So what did you come up with? 450,000, right? So right then you got $450,000 is what the government, the IRS, is going to say, okay, we're going to give you $450,000 of this property as structure value. So we can depreciate that over 27 and a half years. So divide that by 27.5 years. So you can create $16,000 of free money, tax-free income, $1,363 a month of tax-free income. Okay. Now, if the PITI is 3235, right? Yep. 3235 is the PITI. Add 1363 to that number. Yeah, 4598. Okay, so the income up to the 45, in other words, up until as you're raising the rents over the years, up to 4598 is basically becomes tax-free because of the depreciation. Now, so 4598 is somewhere in the middle there. Yeah, let's just use that number. Okay. All right. So up until about the 9th year, you would have tax, all that income is 100% tax-free. Now, even if you go to $5,000, your taxable income is peanuts. It's really peanuts. $400 bucks. Yeah. Yeah. But do you see how compelling this is compared to let's living in the box of I sell houses? I talk about bedrooms, baths, and sale price. That's all I talk about. You're limiting the solutions that you're bringing to the marketplace because your only problem you're solving is finding a house, and finding a house, helping people to find a house is not good enough anymore. And Zillow knows that, and this is why Zillow is commoditizing the real estate industry. Okay, here's how we're converting all your landing page. So if you have an existing landing page, here's how we're converting. I'm going to share with you what we've added, because here's what we're trying to do is beef you up as a real estate wealth advisor. So we're putting your name. You can see Real Estate Wealth Advisor. We have our existing videos. We're shooting videos this Friday with 9 to 12, right? So if you want a lead generation page, reach out to Kayla, and we'll get you scheduled on the calendar. We'll email you the script. We have a script dialed in for this. But you can see on here, so it won't be my video, it'll be your video. That'll be positioned there, build wealth and retire without saving money. So here's the point. You get into the conversation, using our script about how you're a real estate wealth advisor. You help people overcome the struggle to save money and build wealth. Go to my website. You can learn a little bit more about this process. Then click on that. Learn more. We have 3 powerful presentations that are done. I'm adding a 4th one. You'll see them on there. So are you a renter, homeowner, senior, investor? So these are the 4 demographic markets that we're specifically targeting. But you can see why renting is a financial disaster, so they can come to your website. So when you're talking client, go to my website. If you're a renter, you need to learn why renting is the #1 financial mistake that consumers make. #2, homeowners. Your path to wealth is through your home. Then come in here and watch that presentation. #3, seniors retire within 5 years through real estate. So here's the thing I want you to identify. In each category, what is the problem? Category 1, what's the problem? Renting is a financial disaster. It is the #1 struggle that people have when it comes to financial security and retirement. #2, what is the homeowner problem? They can't save money. They're struggling to save money in the 401k. The problem is solved because your path to wealth is through your home. #3, what is the problem for seniors? They want to retire, and they want to retire yesterday. And we're going to show them how they can retire within 5 years through real estate. Problem, solution. If you want to blow up your business, then master how to talk about problems and bring solution. Market, problem, solution. Everything is problem, solution. All right, and then the next one is we're adding the investor category, investors. All right, and we're creating a new show. I'm super excited to share with you. We are launching a new live stream show. You're going to see it. We're live streaming this. It'll be not just on Facebook Live, but beyond. We've set up a live streaming service. Here's our new show. It's going to be marketed. We're going to be marketing this all over Southern California. It's real estate, good investment or bad investment. All right, this is the show, and here's what we're going to be doing. And we're going to be bringing on guest agents, but what we're going to do is we are going to teach consumers and realtors how to analyze a property on whether it's a good financial decision or a bad financial decision. Because the simple truth of the matter is agents don't know how to analyze it properly, and neither do consumers, and they don't ever analyze it. So we're going to launch this show, and we're going to take properties, single family houses, condos. We're going to take duplexes, triplexes, units. We're going to take all these properties, and we're going to analyze them live on the show. We're going to analyze 2-3 properties side by side, and we're going to show them, say, look, here's this analysis. Here's why this is a good investment or why it's a bad investment, and here's the numbers. People need to learn how to do this, and this is the path. I think people are going to be really engaged with learning, and when I say people, particularly the consumers. And our first show, you can see, is Thursday, August 5th. One of the best, in fact, I'm just going to tell you, he's not one of the best. He's the best analyzer I've ever come across when it comes to residential real estate, is Jason Risley. Jason's background is in accounting, one of the smartest analytical salespeople I've met in my 40+ years. He is a master at analyzing real estate, and we've done many client consultations. So Jason's going to be our first guest, and we're going to be analyzing real estate, real properties. We're going to show this, so you're going to see this all over the place. But this is our lead show to help expand our presence at Real Estate Wealth Advisors and to demonstrate that there is a huge difference between working with someone that only sells real estate and someone that is a real estate wealth expert. Huge difference, significant value. So I hope today's been helpful to you. Love your feedback. For those of you that have been committed and active to our Real Estate Wealth Academy, I have some great, exciting news to you. Serena and I have been doing some meetings with some of the internet's top real estate lead aggregators, and we're expanding our marketing budget dramatically, which will be creating all kinds of, as you know, we're only interested in the loans. And so for those of you that are on the sales side, the ones that have been loyal supporters of us, we're going to be reaching out to you and getting you connected with our lead gen, which will be starting up here within about a week.